Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, Put Off Thy Weak Nature, right? And I got the inspiration from this lesson just reading the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 14, where that scripture is mentioned, and just thinking about the things that, we kind of deal with in this world, our jobs, families, women, money, bills, other various responsibilities that we got to take care of in this world. And yes, those are things that we do have to take care of. At the same time, we should not let those things stress us out too much, right? And what I mean by that is don't put so much stock into, the things that are going on with the job, what's going on in your relationship, what's going on with your family, your kids, friends, things like that, right? Right? We're not to worry about these things. We're not to put too much stock into these things to the point to where, they're stressing us out and we're worrying too much about them. That's not what we're to do. What we should be doing is putting our stock into Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, in the coming kingdom, right? Now, again, we do have to take care of bills. We do have various different responsibilities that we have to handle in this world, but we should not let these things, we should, as the scriptures say, seek the kingdom, right? Store up thy treasures in heaven. Let's get that. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, starting at verse 20. Actually, let me start at verse 19. It says, Lay not yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal, right? So this ain't talking about when you die. You know what I'm saying? Because, this is talking to a lot of worldly people. They like to say or have the notion that the so-called white man tricked us into thinking that we're going to get our treasures in heaven or after we die. Let this goddamn bee in here close his window. Big ass bee. But yeah, this is not to say that, okay, you're going to get everything that you want when you die. Right? No, that's not the case. What this is talking about, lay up your treasures in heaven for the kingdom of heaven. Right? Now, the same people will say, nigga, you looking for this fairy tale kingdom that's going to come, that ain't never going to come. You better get your mind right and deal with the world right now, which we do deal with the world as it is right now. But we're telling you also that there is going to be a world to come. That's the difference between us and these niggas in the world, is you don't understand the world that is to come and how the transition between this world and the new world to come, that transition is going to be a chaotic and destructive transition. And you ain't ready for that. That's the thing. You're not ready for that because you're a man or a woman. You think that riches is going to do something for you. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 1 and 18. It says, let me start at verse 17. And I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Right? So, man, in these coming days, there's going to be a lot of death, a lot of tribulation, a lot of pain, a lot of anguish. A lot of people are going to die. That's the part that you people who talk about us and say we're idiots, you know what I'm saying? We're dumbos, we're dummies for believing in the book and believing in this what they call a fairy tale kingdom. What you don't understand is, nigga, you finna die. You finna die, nigga. And you gonna die a painful death. You gonna die a gruesome death. Whether it be by the sword or whether it be by your stomach touching your motherfucking back. That's what these motherfuckers don't understand. Who talk shit and profane the ministry. They don't understand that part. See, look, they think, and we're seeing it happen now. I'm in Illinois right now, man. Gas is almost, or diesel is almost $6 a gallon. It's $5.54 right now, which is up from last week. Regular gas is $4.19. I haven't seen what it was in Missouri. I ain't paid attention to it. You got countries rationing out oil or rationing out gasoline. You got places in Florida that are gas stations that are completely ran out of fuel. All of the fuel that's, and shout out to the elder from the main camp, Amawan Gabar, right? He brought it up in this in the video I watched on this morning. He said, you know, all the fuel and the oil barrels and things like that that were shipped out before February 28th, before the Strait of Hormuz closed, it's only a certain amount of time before that shit get used up. It's only a certain amount of time. And very, very soon, right? Because we see, you know, a rise in gas prices. What's going to happen when we get low? And he also brought this out too. JP Morgan predicts or projects that we're going to be low on oil here, Babylon the Great. We're going to be low on oil this month, in the middle of this month. So how the fuck is that going to go for you? You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of y'all might have your bug out bags, your bug out packs and everything like that. And you might think that you prepared for the situation. But this is going to be worse than what you think. Because you got to understand. See, a lot of you people don't understand that these elites, these governors, these rulers of this current kingdom, and the people who they put in place to govern particular sectors of this kingdom, politically, you know, judicially, you know, financially, things like that. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about the common people. They don't care about the everyday American. They don't care about you and what happens to you. All they care about is if they good. All they care about is, do they got what they need to survive? All right, cool. So whatever decision that these people make is definitely not going to be in your best interest. So you got to realize and understand that. This is verse 18. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So you think you got money. You think you building generational wealth. You trying to build businesses, which in itself is nothing wrong with doing that. But we know for a fact that you people in the world, mainly you ones who talk shit about the ministry, you talk shit about the prophets, you call us dummies, you call us idiots, right? You're too invested in Esau's system. This shit gonna fuck you up. See, you think all of these people on social media, man, they do these podcasts, these broadcasts and everything like that, and they believe that they got all the answers. And in certain cases, yeah, you do have some answers. But when it comes to this truth, when it comes to prophecy, you don't know a motherfucking thing. You don't know shit. You don't know nothing. And you ain't ready for what's coming down the pipeline. Because a lot of you people, you may see that there's going to be some hardships, there's going to be some tribulations, and you may think that you've stored up enough in this world and in this earth to be able to survive, right? What you don't know is what you don't expect is coming to smack you right in your face, man. It's coming to smack you right in the face. And all of this stuff that you think is going to happen is going to be 144 times worse. 144,000 times worse than what you think. So let's go back to Matthew. Right, 21. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if you believe in this ministry, you fully don't believe that there's a kingdom coming, this is where our treasures are going to be laid up. Not to say that we don't try to do the best that we can in this world and advance ourselves as we can in this world. If we can get a better job and still manage, you know what I'm saying, doing our ministerial duties, then that's okay. That's fine. If you get a better job and you make it more and whatever, that's okay. That's cool. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we also understand that all of this stuff, these jobs, these cars, these houses, these businesses, anything that we may have that these other people invest in the world and all of this stuff, man, you got to understand, we're going to have to gear that up. We're going to have to gear that up because very, very soon, what they're going to do is they're going to bring out this MOTB. And in order to engage in any of that, or in order to engage in even a fraction of that, because best believe when this MOTB come out, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be so bad that you just going to be like, man, look, man, I just want a little money in my account. I just want to be able to buy food again. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, all right, take this chip. You can buy some food, but you can only buy so much. We're going to regulate that. You can't go in the grocery store and splurge. Yeah, you can only buy 2 slices of bread, a quarter ounce of beef. You know what I'm saying? 20 grams of chicken. That's all you're going to be able to buy. That's it. Let me keep reading too. Verse 22, it says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. If your eye is focused on this truth, man, you're a light. You're a light filled with the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, if you keep your eye single. Verse 23, but if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness, right? No man can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, and Mammon. You can't serve, and Mammon is the god of money. You can't serve Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah while also serving You know what I'm saying? And when we say serve, we're not talking about working, providing a service or a business. But if you're so focused and set on, I got to get to this bag, I got to run this bag up, I got to get this money. There's nothing wrong with getting money, but if that's your number one focus, if that's your number one thing, right, then you're evil in the sight of the Lord, because you regard not the Most High. You're not regarding Yahweh Bashim Yahweh and his ways. And number two, you're also going to put your faith in this kingdom. You're also going to put your faith in this system that has been built by Esau Edom. Because if you focus on money, then you want this current system to continue. I don't hear any of you motherfuckers who come against us. You talk shit about us. I don't hear none of y'all talking about, all right, we gonna create a new money system. We don't hear none of y'all talking about, what if Babylon falls? What you gonna do then? We don't hear nobody talking about that. But we talking about it, and we telling you, look, this place about to crash real soon. It's about to be over. It's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 14, starting at verse 10. It says, for the world have lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and renounce corruption, right? And it talks about the 12 parts of the world. It's talking about 12,000 years. At the time of Esdras, right, there had been, it was really about 9.5 or 9,500 to about 10,000 years. Really, I believe about 9,500, because Esdras was about 450 years, I believe, before Yahweh Shai, right? Because I actually got another apocrypha. I got an apocrypha in the physical Bible that I have, and it words it in a way to where it's 9.5 parts, basically, right? So we are in the 12th part right now, right? We're in the 12th part right now. So we at the end. We at the end of this thing. Because each part is 1,000 years. Right? Verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, right? Put off the weak nature, right? Put aside thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. Cast away the burdens of man, right? These bills, these dysfunctional relationships that we are subject to in Babylon. And it's not talking about, all right, get rid of your job, get rid of your wife, get rid of family. If you got a decent relationship with your family, you know what I'm saying? It's not saying just get rid of them, but don't be attached to them. Don't be attached to them. Don't be attached to your job. Don't be attached to trying to meet and pay bills every month. Don't be so attached to trying to save money. Not to say don't do these things. You got to pay bills. You got to work. In some cases, you got to save money. But don't let that be, don't be so invested in that though. Don't be so invested in that to where you can't let it go. Because when the time comes, you're going to have to let it go. You got to let it go. Because what? Verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the truth is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen, right? Evils have become more greater since the time of Esdras. And now we're coming into the time, what's the next chapter? 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 16. And these two chapters describe very detailed the destruction of the end times, in which we're living in these times now. So these prophecies, as spoken of in the book of 2nd Esdras 15 and 16, are either coming to pass or are about to come to pass. So you got to put away the weak nature. You got to put away mortal thoughts. Put off the immortal and put off the mortal and put on the immortal. Let me this book of 2nd Esdras chapter 2, starting at verse 42. I, Esdras, saw up on the Mount Sion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, Yahushua, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crown of them? Is it that crown of them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, right? In order to receive the kingdom, you got to put off the mortal. You got to put off mortal thoughts. And it's a challenge in his flesh, but it's something that we got to work on every day. Even me, with the situation I'm going through with my job, man, I done been through, 4 different companies in 2 years. And, I'm tired of, switching companies and everything like that. And I came back to a company which, particular things I didn't like about it, which is why I left in the first place. And now I came back because of, consistency, good pay and everything like that. Now they done made some changes that directly affected me. And now it's starting to fuck my paycheck up. You know what I'm saying? It's shaving money off my paycheck. Now I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, man, like I'm worried about like, all right, man, is they going to do something to replace certain things? They going to give us some more stuff so I can get back to making the same money? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to have to leave and go to another company and this, and that? And these are things that I've been thinking about. And then, I'm thinking about, man, this fucking place finna end, bro. It's over for Babylon, man. It's over. So, if the Lord lead me to go into a new company, so be it. If not, it is what it is, man. I'm not really, I can't really worry about that shit. And brothers and sisters shouldn't worry about these things either. Because very soon, man, all this shit ain't gonna matter. Very soon, none of this shit is gonna matter. Oracle just laid off 30,000 people, sent them niggas an email and said, hey, don't come into work. We're done with you. Thank you for your service. Niggas that been worked there for 20, 30 years, they sent them niggas an email and said, don't come back. You know what I'm saying? That shows you how much these people don't give a fuck about you and don't respect you. Because what is their agenda? They trying to push this AI. And the main reason they're trying to push this AI is so they can get to the point to where they can, fully put this MOTB. Because in order for them to have this MOTB system, and what it looks like is they're gonna try and implement it prematurely, because they're trying to rush and build these data centers. They even talking about, Elon Musk talking about building data centers in space and shit. You know what I'm saying? What it sounds to me, because they're in a rush, because this devil knows that he got a short time. What it sounds like is they're gonna try and push this MOTB thing prematurely too. And that's some shit that Esau do, push some shit out there prematurely, which is good, because that just means it's gonna fail. But we know once they do it, hey, look, man, it's only a matter of time before the Lord comes back. It's gonna be a short time. So look, with that, man, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Hakodash. And until next time.